Genghis Khan. And this is where it gets terrifying. Before he became a name that shook the world, Genghis Khan was just a boy born into hardship, betrayal, and survival. No empire, no army, just struggle. But somehow he rose from nothing and built the Mongol Empire, one of the largest the world has ever seen. Then came the moment that changed everything. A Mongol trade caravan was executed by the Khwarezmian Empire. That wasn't just an insult, it was a death sentence. What followed wasn't war, it was annihilation. Cities like Nishapur and Merv weren't just conquered, they were erased. Entire populations were wiped out, buildings were burnt, and survivors were left only to spread fear. And here's the part that really sticks. Genghis didn't just kill, he made sure people heard about it. Fear became his greatest weapon. Some estimates claim his campaigns caused 20 to 40 million deaths, even suggesting around 11% of the world's population at the time, though historians still debate those numbers. But numbers aside, one thing is clear. He didn't just conquer lands, he weaponized terror itself. Torquemada. And here's where fear became the real weapon. Tomás de Torquemada rose to power in 1483 as the face of the Spanish Inquisition, and what he built wasn't just a court. It was a system of terror. People weren't proven guilty, they were broken until they confessed. Torture methods like the strappado, the rack, and water torture were used to force answers out of pure pain. Accusations didn't need proof. Jealousy, rumors, even personal grudges were enough. Public executions, known as auto da fe, turned death into a spectacle. And in 1492, thousands of Jews were forced to convert or flee. The death toll may have been around 2,000 to 5,000, but the fear, that controlled an entire nation. Viva Vlad, the Impaler. But wait, this is where brutality turns into a message. Vlad the Impaler didn't just kill enemies, he made sure their deaths were unforgettable. His signature method, impalement, was designed for slow, agonizing death, sometimes lasting days. And then came the moment that shocked even his enemies. When Ottoman forces advanced, they found what looked like a forest, but it was thousands of bodies on stakes, the so-called Forest of the Impaled. Even Sultan Mehmed II reportedly turned back after seeing it. This wasn't just cruelty, it was psychological warfare, a warning carved into human bodies. And centuries later, his legend inspired Dracula, Ivan the Terrible. And just when you think it can't get worse, Ivan IV became Russia's first Tsar, but his rule quickly turned into something darker. He created the Oprichnina, a private force that acted like a secret police, spreading terror across the land. Then came Novgorod. Convinced the city betrayed him, Ivan unleashed a massacre. Thousands tortured, drowned, or executed, with estimates ranging widely. People weren't just killed, they were made examples. And in one of the most chilling moments, Ivan himself killed his own son in a fit of rage. This wasn't leadership, it was paranoia unleashed with absolute power. Robespierre? But this next one shows how even revolutions can turn deadly. Maximilien Robespierre started as a voice for equality, but during the Reign of Terror, that vision twisted into fear. Between 1793 and 1794, laws allowed people to be arrested without proof. Around 300,000 were detained, and about 17,000 were executed. The guillotine became a daily sight. And here's the part that hits hardest. Justice didn't matter anymore. Suspicion was enough. The revolution began killing its own people. And in the end, Robespierre himself was executed by the very system he helped create, Leopold II. And this part feels less like history and more like a nightmare. Leopold II didn't just rule the Congo, he owned it. Not as the king of a country, but as his personal property. And what he built there wasn't governance. It was a system designed to squeeze profit out of human lives. Rubber was the goal, and to get it, his forces enforced impossible quotas. If workers failed, punishments followed. Hands cut off, families taken hostage, and entire villages burnt to the ground. People weren't seen as human, they were tools. Historians estimate anywhere from 1 million to over 10 million deaths. with some suggesting even higher numbers. Eventually, the world found out, and the pressure was so massive that Leopold was forced to give it up. This wasn't just cruelty. It was a business built on suffering. Joseph Stalin. And just when you think power couldn't get colder, Joseph Stalin turned an entire government into a weapon. His rule wasn't about sudden violence, it was slow, controlled destruction. Millions were sent into the Gulag system, forced labor camps where people froze, starved, and worked until they died. Around 18 million passed through with over 1 million deaths recorded. Then came the Great Purge. Hundreds of thousands executed simply on suspicion. But the real devastation came from policies. Forced collectivization led to famine, including the Holodomor, where millions starved. Kazakhstan alone lost over 1 million people. Estimates suggest 20 to 30 million deaths tied to his rule. This wasn't chaos, it was calculated. He didn't need war, his policies did the killing. Mussolini. But here's where ideology turns into a blueprint. Benito Mussolini didn't just rule Italy, he created fascism, a system built on control, violence, and absolute power. And others would follow that path. In Libya, people were forced into concentration camps, where many died from hunger and disease. Entire communities were wiped out to crush resistance. Then in Ethiopia, he crossed another line. His forces used mustard gas, dropping chemical weapons from the sky, burning skin, destroying lungs, and killing civilians despite global bans. This wasn't just war, it was domination at any cost. Mussolini didn't just commit atrocities, he showed the world how far dictators could go. Hideki Tojo. And this next one turns science into something horrifying. Hideki Tojo wasn't just Japan's prime minister during World War II. He oversaw some of the darkest acts in modern history. Unit 731 became a place where humans were treated like experiments. Prisoners were infected with deadly diseases, frozen alive, or cut open without anesthesia, all in the name of research. Then came the Bataan Death March, tens of thousands forced to walk for miles with no food or water. Around 10,000 died before even reaching the camps, and behind it all was the comfort women system. Women taken and forced into sexual slavery. After the war, Tojo was captured, tried, and executed. Because this wasn't just war, it was cruelty disguised as strategy. Hitler. And then there's the one name everyone knows. Adolf Hitler didn't just lead a country, he built a system designed to eliminate entire groups of people. His ideology was simple and terrifying. Some lives mattered more than others. And under that belief, the Holocaust began. Millions of Jews were forced into ghettos, then transported to camps where gas chambers turned death into a process. Around 6 million Jews were killed, along with millions of others, Roma, disabled individuals, and political prisoners. This wasn't random violence, it was organized and systematic. A machine built for genocide. Estimates suggest 17 to 20 million deaths tied to his regime. He didn't just spread hate, he turned it into an industrial operation. Franco. And even after the war ends, sometimes the fear doesn't. After the Spanish Civil War, Francisco Franco didn't rebuild Spain. He punished it. What followed became known as the White Terror, a campaign of executions, prisons, and forced labor designed to crush anyone who opposed him. Thousands were shot. Many more locked in overcrowded prisons where hunger and disease finished the job. But it didn't stop there. Franco erased identity itself, banning languages, censoring culture, and silencing entire communities. And here's what still haunts Spain today. Mass graves are still being discovered. This wasn't just violence, it was fear stretched across decades. Mao Zedong. And this next one proves something even darker. Policies can kill more than war. Mao Zedong wanted to transform China overnight. The Great Leap Forward forced millions into communes, where everything was shared, but nothing worked. Officials lied about food production, and the government took grain that didn't exist. What followed was one of the deadliest famines in history, killing tens of millions. Then came the Cultural Revolution. Mao unleashed the Red Guards, young followers who attacked teachers, destroyed history, and turned society against itself. Across both campaigns, estimates suggest 40 to 70 million deaths. This wasn't an invasion. This wasn't war. This was policy turning into mass destruction. Kim Il-sung. And here's where control goes beyond life itself. Kim Il-sung didn't just found North Korea. He built a system where your fate was decided before you were even born. It was called the Songbun system, a social ranking that labeled families as loyal or disloyal. And once labeled, there was no escape. Those at the bottom were sent to prison camps, where punishment didn't stop with one person. It extended to entire families, sometimes across 3 generations. Inside those camps, people were forced into brutal labor, starved, and treated as disposable. And above all this, Kim demanded absolute worship. His image everywhere, his words memorized, his power unquestioned. This wasn't just dictatorship. It was control that followed you, even after death. Pol Pot. But this next one turned an entire country into a graveyard. Pol Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge, believed he could reset society to year 0. Cities were emptied overnight, millions forced into the countryside to work as farmers. And then it got worse. Anyone seen as educated, teachers, doctors, even people wearing glasses, was marked for death. Prisons like Tuol Sleng became torture centers, and beyond them lay the killing fields, where people were executed and buried in mass graves. In just a few years, around 1.5 to 2 million people died, nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population. This wasn't just violence, it was a system where intelligence itself became a crime. Idi Amin. And finally, a ruler who destroyed his own country from the inside. Idi Amin seized power in Uganda in the 1970s, and almost immediately the country descended into fear. People disappeared overnight. Soldiers dragged civilians from their homes, and torture chambers became part of everyday life. Estimates suggest around 300,000 people were killed under his rule. Then came another shocking move. Amin expelled tens of thousands of Asians, many of whom ran businesses and supported the economy. Within months, Uganda's economy collapsed. But Amin didn't stop. Violence, fear, and instability became the norm. This wasn't just a dictatorship, it was a nation being torn apart from within.